It's time for Wretched Radio with Todd Friel.
Now, please permit me to remind you, normally, I love open-air preaching. I love it. I love it when people go out, even if they just read their Bible, proclaim it in the open air. Consider what happens 2,000 years after the Bible was written, 2,000 years after Jesus Christ rose from the dead, that historical event that changed everything. There is somebody willing to go out, even as people pass by, spit upon them, to read his word. Even if nobody stops, I say salute. I like open-air preachers, even when the preaching isn't the greatest, I still applaud it. Having said that, there is a time when I think some open-air preachers need to be taken aside to say, no, you need to work on some stuff. And that is when they're unreasonable. When you simply pronounce to people without any explanation, without explaining the character and the nature of God, without explaining the laws of God, having them understand what sin is and its consequences, and you just walk around shouting, you're going to hell, turn or burn, that's not open-air preaching. That's unreasonable. I don't think it's biblical. Now, this person might not even be saying anything wrong, but without explanation, it's confusing, it's misleading, and there can even be some context where it's just not appropriate to do open-air preaching, when it is more, I think, destructive than it is constructive. You're about to hear some hell-shaking preaching. These are individuals, grown men, who decided to put their sandwich boards on, which are basically turn or burn boards, and go to people's homes, ring their doorbells, and do this.
Well, local street preachers are out here. We're not trying to trick you. We don't want you in your treats. But we're going to tell you you're going to die and go straight to hell if you don't repent, if you don't stop sinning, and get right with God. Sin will obey you.
That is what they said when they rang people's doorbells. That's not open-air preaching. That's rude, it's thoughtless, and to film something like this and put it on the YouTube machine, I suspect maybe it's more about being really, really confrontational, really bold, and it is about getting people saved.
I'm not going to trick now. I want those treats. Really? You need to repent. You're on your way to hell if you don't repent and stop celebrating this wicked holiday. It's sin or death for you, lady. We're street preachers for Halloween. We're not tricking and we're not treating. Hopefully you get right with God.
By the way, it was raining.
Sorry, no tricking and treating for us. Get right with God or you're on your way to hell.
Do they change their message at all, or is it just pretty much, ding dong, you're going to hell, see ya?
I think that was kind of it. They didn't really have too many more. The rest of it was pretty much just the confrontation.
Over and over again.
Well, ladies, we're not here to trick and we're not here to treat. We're hellfire and damnation street preachers and not just for Halloween.
Hellfire and damnation street preachers. You know, that's not all that Christian either. We talk about hellfire. We certainly are not shy in talking about damnation. But that isn't the extent of our preaching. The preaching is culminating. It's always seeking to ultimately get to lifting high the cross. The love of God proclaim. Not just walking around shouting, you're all going to hell.
Jesus, you're on your way to hellfire. Repent, get right with God.
Good thing to do in a Catholic church.
I bet that every single one of these neighbors say the same thing.
I got you.
So what? Why are you ruining this for this kid? You saying your kids are hell kids? Kids? How am I sending my... Turn this off. I don't want to be filmed anymore.
It's too bad.
Turn it off.
Too bad.
You can do that.
It's America. It's America.
I don't want to be...
This is America.
Iraq? Where are we at then? Dude, you guys are... We're kind of a downer on it. You're a total downer. Yeah. What does this have to do with going to hell? All these kids are doing is being a part of it. You're celebrating American tradition. This is American. This is an American tradition. This is an American tradition. Don't put words in my mouth. Get your out of this neighborhood, or I will call the cops. I'll call the cops. Yep. Call the cops. Sure. You got a phone on you? We hate Halloween. That's part of it.
Jesus
you got a phone on you?
Yeah.
Jesus hated Halloween. That's America.
Jesus hated Halloween. That could be
Right here.
part of it.
Well, get out of this neighborhood. That's why we're coming around harassing. Don't harass you.
I have no problem with a street preacher getting heckled. We should expect that. But it should be for the right reasons, and I don't think this is it.
Where we want to walk. You are going door to door harassing
people.
You are harassing a third world country.
We're telling the truth.
Or America. You're right. How about that right? You feel that you're telling the truth? It doesn't matter. Get out of this neighborhood.
We're not doing that.
All you're doing is causing a scene.
Oh, you're causing a scene too. You came up to us, actually.
I want to ask you a question as you listen to this tedious encounter. I want you to hear the tone of the preachers. Does this sound like it's been informed by the gospel of grace?
I understand that.
Okay. We're preaching the gospel, something you cowards are afraid to do.
Can we just
We're preaching the gospel.
Get out of
We know about the gospel. We know about the gospel. What do you know? You're celebrating a wicked pagan holiday.
You don't know anything about the gospel. Really? It's not what Jesus would do.
What would he do?
Jesus would not go door to door
This wicked holiday? You celebrate this wicked holiday? Is that what Jesus would do?
This is not
What would Jesus do?
Jesus
Yeah.
would not go door to door
What would he do?
harassing
What
people
would he
like
do?
all three of you guys are.
What would he do?
All
What
three
would
of you.
he do? Answer the
And you guys are...
I understand confrontation. I understand people getting annoyed. I've seen it. It should be about the right reason. And if anything, people, if you wanted to go door to door, which I do not think is advisable or wise, maybe not even legal, to yell at somebody, I think you might want to rethink your message. And even if you did want to go and proclaim to them the gospel, of Jesus dying on a cross for the forgiveness of sins, if they don't hear any sort of love coming from you, your theology can be spot on. You're still not doing it right as an open-air preacher.